One of the therapies that I find helpful for dealing with multiple sclerosis is the infrared sauna. And I find that when I'm sitting in there for an hour or so, baking at higher and higher temperatures, that thoughts just start to bubble up and I start talking a saunalog, if you will. So here you go. As diseases go, MS sucks. It's multiple sclerosis is a shit sandwich. Now, that's not to say that you can't create a good life in spite of that, but you're swimming upstream. So there's just a certain reality there that you have to deal with. And there are plenty of physical challenges. There are plenty of unexpected factors. Nobody can tell you what's going to happen. Everybody's case of MS is different. No two are quite the same. It's a snowflake-oriented disease. And nobody can tell you exactly how to stop it or how fast it will go or if it will go at all or what. There's nothing to it. So it's a tough one if somebody's dealing with anxiety or just likes to sort of know what the hell's going on. So in my mind, that makes the mental game of MS one of the most critical elements to get right, because if you're going to deal with that kind of a shit show, you got to be able to find a way to keep your head up and stay resilient, because you're going to need that strength. And finding that strength is then the source of a lot of joy. Makes a lot of other things possible. So that's all good. But in that context, here are 5 strategies that I use or tactics that I use to deal with MS anxiety. The first tactic to deal with MS anxiety is to remember to not suffer before you have to. Big bad things may come. That is the root of MS anxiety. But if they're not here right now, it's all imagination. We're imagining these things, all these horrible possibilities that might be. And in reality, they may not. It may be something totally different. It may be better. We don't know. So we live in this future fake state when in reality, maybe the here and now is actually okay. Which gets to the number 2 part of this is being mindful. Zooming into the reality that's around you right now. There's a tactic that 3x3 that I find can be useful. Focus on 3 things that you can see, 3 things that you can hear, and 3 parts of your body that you can move. So you can't think about 2 things at once. So if you're focusing on the here and now, that by default that drives out a lot of the rumination and chaos that might come. Another part of zooming in is zooming in on exactly the fear itself, rather than thinking of it as a scary noise under the bed or behind the curtain or in the closet. Turning on the lights, looking it right in the eye, getting real steely-eyed with this thing and what it really is. And sometimes you find that it's almost comical that the thing that's driving all this fear is really sounded like a horrible dragon, and it's really just dirty laundry. And so sometimes looking at things that focused, what are we really afraid of? What is the real impact of that? Or is it just mental drama? So that's another strategy that can help. Another thing that can help dealing with the anxiety is to zoom out, to take the focus off of our immediate perspective and try to put it in context with a much broader universe that's going on around us in time and space. This can be a really powerful impact of a psychedelic therapy. Sometimes you get a little insight into, oh, you are here, little tiny perspective of our relationship and connection to other people and to the rest of the world, the rest of our life, the universe, the energy, physics that are actually going on underneath our feet, the quantum mechanics that none of us really understand, but kind of drive how all this shit works. That is helpful sometimes to be able to put that into perspective. So, when I'm freaking out about something, it's easy to kind of remind, oh, wait a minute, this is kind of a small drama, a little tiny TV show in my overall universe. So, Yeah, I can get excited about, you know, a TV show that's on the tube right now, or watching the game on TV. That's great, but I have to remember that that action and that focus and that drama is happening within a very small context. Square TV on my wall, in my living room, in my house, in my neighborhood, country, planet, the whole thing. You zoom out. That sometimes then, and I remember that my anxiety that I feel at the moment is at that same level. We can zoom out, and sometimes you're like, oh yeah, I guess that's not worth freaking out about. There's also the thought of, you can either have hope and focus on that hope and that positive future and the possibilities of goodness, or you can abandon hope. And there's beauty and poetry in both of those. Abandon hope, okay, if you accept that you're fucked and that there's nothing you can do about it, and that drives a certain hard reality. It's like, okay, my chances are shit here, but what am I going to do with that? Make the best of it. Another element of letting go is just, Jesus, take the wheel. Just let go of trying to control it, and see what happens. Just what will be will be. We're bobbing along like a cork, and nothing we can do to control it. Okay, that's where we are. That removes fear, and I can tell you, there's even a flow state that can come, where you're just totally empowered with no restraints, because that fear is completely gone around you, and you're just, it's a very liberating feeling sometimes, as opposed to being terrorizing. Sometimes behind that terror is just power and freedom. So it can be scary to dive into, but it's there. So, well, I hope that is helpful. Just cooking in the sauna here, so these are the things that bubble up in my head. Take care.